It's the night.
Streaming cyberspace into your place from Thompson Speedway, YesterYear Racing, where past meets present, introduces 2009 to the now with the running of the YesterYear Icebreaker, the third round on the YesterYear Racing Tour Modified Series 2026 schedule. And you can witness all the green to checkered action live as it happens right here on the Virtual Grip Network. Well, they call him Kid Lemon Lime. He is Luke Logan Allen, and he comes into today's race as the hottest driver in the series with a third place showing at Concord Speedway in the season opener and a win last week in round 2 at Sobo. So a little bit about Thompson Speedway and its history with this series. In the past 2 seasons, the series has visited Thompson Speedway 4 times, with Tom Gogo Ogle winning 3 of them and Lloyd Moore winning the other. But Ogle is only a part-timer this year. He's not here tonight. And the lack of Gogo's stranglehold on this place should leave breathing room for perhaps a first-time Thompson winner. Allen leads James Lowe by 25 points in the standings coming into the day, with the whirlwind Chris Worrell holding down third spot, another 25 markers behind Lowe. Conspicuous by the non-mention, which I will do right now, is the driver called Teapot. Many expect Eric Stout to make his presence known today. Stout, one of the preseason favorites, is currently buried well down the order in the standings. You've heard some of the stories for today, so watch them all. Pull the lever on the lazy boy. Settle in for the excitement of Tour Modifieds on what is known as the Indy of the East. A warm nutmeg steak hello and welcome on this Tuesday, April 7th, 2026.
Opioid addiction gets between you and what you love. Once monthly Sublocade may help you move forward in your recovery. Sublocade, with counseling and psychosocial support, treats moderate to severe opioid addiction in adults started on an oral dose of buprenorphine or already on buprenorphine. Sublocade is just one dose that lasts all month long with no complete detox required. Buprenorphine should be started after the first signs of withdrawal. Sublocade may cause harm or death if injected in a vein. As an opioid, it may cause serious life-threatening breathing problems. Ask about naloxone for opioid overdose. Get emergency help right away if you're faint, dizzy, sleepy, confused, have problems breathing, seeing, or talking, or if naloxone is given. Don't take with other opioids, benzos, alcohol, or other drugs, including street drugs. This can cause severe drowsiness, decreased awareness, breathing problems, coma, and death. In emergencies, tell medical staff you're on Sublocade for opioid dependence. This isn't a full list of risks and side effects. Talk to your doctor and read patient label for more information. If you or a loved one is struggling with opioid addiction, visit Sublocade.com.
The institution, J.R. Shepard, joins yours truly, Bill Soups on high up in the VGN broadcast booth to bring you our words, eye view, turn the knobs, and push on the sliders. It's Replay Ryan Seneca. All right, partner, I always enjoy this part of the broadcast. Tell us a little bit about this kart track combination.
All right, so Thompson is one of the toughest short tracks to race on. This place, it's 5/8 of a mile in length. Turns are banked around 26 degrees, but the biggest issue at this track is the narrow racing groove that will make passing here very difficult, especially driving these Tour Modifieds, something that we have previously talked about throughout the season. These cars do not have great visibility from the cockpit, especially on that right-hand side where the air cleaner blocks a lot of your vision. The narrow groove and the low cockpit visibility will be the storylines here tonight and will more than likely lead to several cautions. If you're on the bottom trying to make a pass, the car tends to push up on corner exit here, and it's very easy to misjudge where your right front tire is in relation to that car you are passing. This often leads to contact, and if that happens in front of you, it will be difficult to avoid at this place. So another thing to remember tonight is that the track position here is going to be key. So Soup, I know what's going on right now, but I expect qualifying to be super important here tonight.
Boy, it's going to be really important. A lot of drivers cannot afford to start mid-pack. Hey, you know, the YesterYear Tour Modified Series, it's a flagship racing series sanctioned by the YesterYear Racing League. This year's 2026 schedule will be rerunning the 2009 Whelen Modified Tour. It's the Southern Tour. Each race is set up based on the actual race history, track, weather, rules, point system, length of race, starting time, all identical to the events that took place some 17 years ago. Tonight's race will mirror the 2009 NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour Icebreaker race, which was run Sunday, April 5th, 2009 at Thompson Speedway. In a strange coincidence, yours truly was actually there that night. You see, in Connecticut at that time, there was a major bedbug infestation. And being the bedbug aficionado that I am, I plan to attend the Connecticut Agricultural Experiment Station Bedbug Forum. But the 180-seat auditorium was filled to capacity with a long waiting list, so I decided to go to this race instead, where I saw a whopping 35 cars actually grid up that day. And 2028 NASCAR Whelen Tour Modified Champion and Plainsville, Connecticut driver Teddy Christopher earned the win. You know, looking back on it in hindsight, the race was probably a better show than the forum. Let's go ahead and quickly take a look at the points. Not a whole lot to show you here, as they basically just reflect what's going on in the first two races. You see, we talked about Kid Lemon Lime up there on front with James Lowe right behind him and Chris Worrell in third. Scott Negus, if he can get it together, he could be a threat for the champion. Tom Liston beginning to get things back together after the birth of his second daughter. He's also now getting back into the form we know. Luke Logan's dad, Kenny, down there in sixth position. Lloyd Moore, he won here once before, remember? So he'd like to be the only driver to win twice other than Go-Go Ogle. You see Jerry Isaacs down there, Glenn Jamieson, the run runner in ninth. And then we get to the driver in 10th, the last driver I'll talk about. It is Eric Teapot Stout. He crushes it over in the Red Light Racing League, has come over here to show him what he can do. He's having a hard time of it. Had a horrible race last time out. Look for him to bounce back if he can get himself a good qualifying spot. I think we've set the table. Now all we need to do is tell you who's gridding up there as qualifying is going on right now. And I think it might be done. We might be able to do it here. Let's go ahead and give you the grid. This grid ever so important, as passing is going to be at a premium. I talked about it. There he is, Teapot, sitting on the pole. Luke Logan Allen, he is very hot. Be outside of him. Partner?
Inside row 2, we got Ken Allen. Outside, James Logan.
Granny Hips, Josh Buckley in 5th with Eric Esri outside of him.
Rolling off 7th, we got Jeff Lemire, and 8th place, Torch Childs.
Former winner here, Lloyd Moore in 9th with Brian Neff, a longtime driver, in 10th.
Inside row 6, we got Roger Hurley. On the outside, Chris Hazlett.
In the Baker's Dozen spot, it's the whirlwind Chris Worrell with Scott Negus. He could be fast in 14th.
Rolling off 15th tonight will be Jerry Isaacs in that 51 car. On the outside, 87 car, Todd Liston.
17 and 18th, Brian Johnson, Rory Collins.
Inside row 10, we got Tom Hilbert. On the outside, Glenn Jamieson.
And then the last car with an ace and a face card. In the 21st position, it's series organizer Alan Wanamaker. Glad you could be with us here tonight. 150 laps. They can come in, make a pit stop, change tires if they want. JR, is that doable?
Next season in Montreal. One island, 6 challengers, and tons of je ne sais quoi. David, Sophie, Bagel, the In the Nomads, Maya, the Food Tripper, Vanessa and Tommy, the Vlog Trotters. Montreal is a summer playground, but who will find its hidden gems? The 72-hour challenge begins. The clock is ticking. There's tons to see, and nothing is deja vu. Buckle up. Everyone's aiming for the top. But hey, Montreal can also be très chill. Summer here? These challengers can't get enough. Giddy up. The game is on, and this playground's massive. Next season starts now. It's time to show up.
The itch and rash of moderate to severe eczema disrupts my skin. Despite treatment, it's still not under control. Now I have Rinvoq, a once-daily pill that reduces the itch and helps clear the rash of eczema fast. Some felt significant itch relief as early as 2 days, and some achieved dramatic skin clearance as early as 2 weeks. Many saw clear or almost clear skin.
Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal. Cancers including lymphoma and skin, serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occurred. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events: infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant or planning. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. See a head-to-head study of Rinvoq versus another treatment at rinvoq.com/see-the-data. Talk to your dermatologist if you're not doing well on your current pill or injection to see if Rinvoq is right for you.
It's doable. We're going to have to get a caution. It's going to have to be timed right. You're definitely going to want tires at some point, driving these tour modifieds around here. But it's all about when that caution comes out, because if you're smart, take care of your stuff, you can leapfrog a lot of drivers that decide to pit if you stay out.
Driver on the inside, driver on the outside. You can see the torch right between them as Eric Stout has been passing it over to the kid lemon lime, Luke Oganell, and we start to go racing. And it is the veteran Stout out in front. Maybe. Look at the topside work. You know, JR, the kid likes it up there and he makes it work.
Yeah, he is the best in any of the modifieds, running the high line, and he made it work here. He got that lead. Let me tell you, Eric did everything perfect to try to move him up the track through the center of the corner as much as he could, but Luke Logan was there.
All right, so the two preseason favorites, Stout and Lowe, race second and third. Maybe we overlooked what Kid Lemon Lime could do. Looking Allen has been hot. He's out in front right now, rounding out your top five. Racing back there in fourth position. That's Papa Kenny Allen with Josh Buckley behind him. We're looking at that two-wide battle a little farther back on the inside. That's Lloyd Moore. He gets the best of it, but oh boy, almost getting into him. That was Jeff Lemire, and that's going to slow up his momentum, leave the inside open now. There's Torrance Childs.
Yeah, and that is an example of what I talked about in the opening. These to clear himself, but that was more than anything the car moving up the track, and it's very difficult to to prevent contact when you got a car on your outside like that.
21 drivers, all of them single file. It looks like New Year's Day in Pasadena. We got ourselves a parade. And the lead float, Luke Logan Allen.
And definitely you see some of these drivers trying to move around a little bit. Really getting high. He was right on the edge where the groove is, but if you do that to perfection, you can get a huge run up off of the corners, and that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to carry that momentum so he can potentially get back up to Luke Logan.
Director, let's go back and look at the car in 12th position. This is Jerry Isaacs. He's our big mover, up 3 positions right now. Next on his hit list would be the Whirlwind, Chris Whirl. Well, that's a tall order. Let's watch those guys work their way through the field. 11th and 12th right now, Whirl and Isaacs. They both look good.
Introducing the all-new Velotric Discover 3 e-bike. Step through with ease. With an adjustable air suspension fork, suspension seat post, and ergonomic breathable saddle, comfort is yours, and everything simply feels in tune. Then your ride becomes your own, with smart tuning that personalizes power to you and quick sensor swaps tailored to every road and every ride. Effortless ride, elevated control.
Is it time to say yep to Vyepti? Vyepti is an IV infusion that helps prevent migraine attacks. Chronic migraine patients saw 23 fewer migraine days on average per treatment. And it's just 4 30-minute IV treatments a year. Don't take if allergic to Vyepti. Allergic reactions, high blood pressure, and Raynaud's, which causes numb or painful fingers or toes, can happen. Get help right away for rash, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, or throat, or trouble breathing, hives, and facial redness. Common side effects are stuffy nose, scratchy throat, and allergic reactions. Ask your doctor about Vyepti.
Yeah, and here's going to be the difficult spot as we're riding on board with Isaacs. everybody is pretty much nose to tail. So you're working over your competition. You're seeing where their weakness is. As you're trying to make a run, and a good place to do it is up off of turn 2 to try to get a run to the inside of that driver in front of you. As you do that, if you go to the inside and try to make a pass, if you do not complete it, you're going to get passed by the driver behind you because they're going to have the run on the outside.
My partner talks about the lack of vision so often. When we were on that onboard camera shot, is that about what you see, JR, or is that actually a little bit lower? Is that what the driver sees?
It's very, very similar to what the driver sees. There's just a small window in front of you, and the only thing that they've done to try to help that, and this in real life as well, is that A pillar, or that A post that's to the left side of you, they have made it clear Lexan instead of a painted metal piece. So it helps, but you still have that roll bar there. So the vision is very, very difficult.
There it is again as we ride on board with Brian Johnson. Now, you can't even see to the inside of him is the rum runner, Glenn Jamieson. There he is. Just came up in front of him.
Yeah, you know, one of the things we talk about, especially when it comes to league racing, is having a good self-awareness, being aware of where all of these drivers are around you on the racetrack. That is so important in these modifieds because of what you just said, Soup. It is so difficult to see. You have to anticipate where those other drivers are going to be, and that's where in this series there's got to be a little bit of give and take just because of that lack of vision.
JR, does the sound system help? Does stereo? Can you hear a car if he's on your outside or inside, or is that not happening?
You can definitely hear it. I never liked going off of it. It always kind of disoriented me. I'm a little different, I guess, but definitely drivers talk about it. You can hear if a driver is to your inside or outside, and it helps you kind of gauge, if you do it correctly, just how far up to the inside or outside they are on you.
Boy, our director is doing a good job to find battles where he can find them. They are hard, though. Passing is at a premium. Not sure who we're looking at here. Oh, that was World. You know, we talked about it. That was World who got passed.
It was, and for whatever reason, through 3 and 4, he got just a little too high. We talked about all these drivers, especially Eric Stout was trying to move up in the groove. There is a lot of grip right there, but if you jump over that groove, there is marbles, and you have no grip, and I think World got just a little too high in the corner.
Torrance Childs was trying some creative lacing lines on Jeff Lemire. Let's look at that battle. It's a pretty good one. This is a battle for 8th. Childs is trying to be creative. I saw him get way down low to see if he could get anything working. And with that said, Roger Hurley's behind them, and then after that it's Jerry Isaacs. And remember, Isaacs now up 4 spots. He's our big mover, the only guy who's picking up positions on the track.
Yeah, I'll go back to what you were talking about with Torrance running that different line. What I like about that, it may not help him a whole lot right now. We see Scott Negus running a similar line right there. It may not help him right now, but if we get another caution and a restart, that could be huge because when drivers are stacked up, if you can go to a lane where nobody else is, you can make passes.
I think maybe, Director, we better peek up front because now the teapot is beginning to run down about a car length behind Luke Logan Allen, and then there is James Lowe behind him. The front 3, honestly, not really able to pull away from Kenny Allen back there racing hard. We ride on board with Luke looking back. That's the teapot, and then you can see his dad back there. 1, 2, 3 cars back is Papa.
Yeah, and it's early in this race. You talked about it in the opening that Eric Stout's at a big deficit in the points right now, not what he's accustomed to. I think he's going to be pretty smart here, and the other thing is he understands how these restarts work in this series. So I'm not so sure that being in second place is not where you want to be if a caution comes out. We saw Luke Logan take the lead that way. These drivers, they do not go on the leader. They have to wait until that green flag comes out, so it becomes more of a reaction thing.
My mom could always tell when us boys were horsing around, when there was horseplay going on. She'd yell from the kitchen back into our bedroom, "Stop the horseplay." I think I've inherited. Let's go back and look at 4th position right now. This is Kenny Allen and Josh Buckley. And these guys are really mixing it up. Buckley was on the back of Kenny right now. These guys know each other. They are friends. They were giving each other a hard time. Now Buckley backed off a little bit. I think Buckley's encouragement has run as James Lowe is getting in the back of Stout.
Yeah, I can tell you. So you're looking at Buckley there, and you're looking at James Lowe. Right now, they are in an odd number running position. So they're running 3rd and 5th place, like I talked about. If a caution comes out, you want to be in an even spot, and those are the drivers you're going to be seeing trying to make moves. If you're in an even position, you're going to see a more calm driver on the racetrack, not doing a whole lot right now. So that's what's always interesting about Thompson. Drivers are trying to get into that even number position.
Ew!
This stinks. You're better off at Topgolf, where your group can play in your own darn shoes. Say goodbye to gutter balls.
Big day. Keep calm. Keep your composure. That means no matter what, time to lock in.
Push the pace, thread it.
Show me your game face. All right, we'll work on it. What does victory sound like? 1, 2, 3.
Together!
Looking at this battle here, that's the Scott Negus trying to work on the rum runner Glenn Jameson. It didn't quite get it done. That's a nice 4-car battle. The Racing Rev, the Lipper, Chris Hayslip out in front. Todd Liston right behind him. Diving in there pretty darn deep is Jameson, and back watching the whole thing is Brian Johnson.
Yeah, Todd wants. Yeah, Todd wants to make this pass, but it is so difficult to do in turns 1 and 2. Typically, you try to get the run in 1 and 2 and make the pass through 3 and 4. This time, they stay side by side all the way around the racetrack, almost making contact off of 4.
Boy, you could see Liston take a really low line out of 2. That car turned on him. And now coming through is the Jameson. Jameson with a good run off the 4. They say goodbye to the Lipper. And that's Brian Johnson getting underneath as well. Meanwhile, 2nd position up for grabs. Lowe is getting impatient back in 3rd. He put his nose down there, then had to back out of it.
Yeah, this is where Eric starts to feel a little uncomfortable. We talked about he probably wants to stay in 2nd place in case a caution comes out for that restart. But when you've got a driver behind you starting to make moves, it makes you a little uncomfortable because contact is so easy to make around here. So right now, Eric's wanting to pull away. At some point, though, he's going to be right on the back bumper of Luke Logan. He's got to make a decision if he gets there.
And it's so hard to tell sometimes if these guys are giving it all they got. You wonder, Allen not able to run away with it, but he really doesn't need to. Any tires that he burns up, building up a big lead, will just be wiped away if a caution comes out. So maybe he's just racing fast enough. I think James Lowe getting impatient. My partner talked about it in an odd position, perhaps.
Yeah, we saw, I think that was Torrance Childs that we saw go to the inside on the front stretch. Must have gotten loose or had some slight contact, but he went through the grass. We stayed green, so that's great for the race, but it's going to be bad news for him because he's going to lose several positions. Just getting loose off of turn 4 there, but does a nice job to keep us under green.
Well, I may be putting the cart before the horse here, assuming that we stay green for a while, but Director, let's take a look. Can we ride off the back of Rory Collins? He's the car in 21st position, last car on the lead lap. Let's see if he's able to see. Oh, Luke is coming. And when these leaders get up there, Rory Collins isn't racing by himself. He's kind of got a little group of cars he's been playing around with. That involves, let's give you a name, Alan Wanamaker, little brother Tom Hilbert, and then Collins. 19th, 20th, and 21st. Leaders are coming.
And this is one of the worst tracks as a leader when you start seeing that lap traffic. You do not want to catch lap traffic here because it presents an opportunity for those behind you to potentially make a pass on you if you get held up just a little bit. The good thing is that being the leader, you can control the pace just a little bit. You can't slow down a ton, but you can slow down just enough And what you got to start doing is you get close to those lap cars, you have to start timing it. You have to start thinking 2 and 3 laps ahead on how you're going to catch those lap cars so that you have a run and you carry that run immediately to make a pass.
And folks, if you want to know how to go fast, listen to my partner. But if you want to know what it's like to be a back marker, it's one of the few things I can tell you about. And right now, I'm feeling it for Rory Collins, because this is one of the hardest situations you are if you're a back marker. And trust me on this, not when you're being passed by the leader, but when you're being passed by a train of cars. And right now, Luke Logan Allen has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars right now? It's hard to let all those guys go by. You're up in areas you don't like for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely, because we talked about this racetrack has a narrow groove, so it's not terrible to let 1 or 2 guys go by. But if you have an entire turn worth of cars trying to pass you, it puts you in a bad and awkward position to where a mistake can be made. You can get out of the groove, get into those marbles, and that can lead to contact to the wall and then bounce you back into other cars. So it is a very uncomfortable feeling.
And the point is, Rory Collins is not racing at 21st position because he's really feeling the car, really having a good time right now. He's doing all he can to hang on to the back of the lead lap. So we're going to stay on this because this is going to be something. Oh, man, this is we're looking at a yellow flag stew cooking up right here.
Yeah, they're getting separated just a little bit, but there were some moments where they were super tight. You see Brian Neff, that's one of the things that is iconic for Brian. He drives so hard into the corner and somehow still makes the corner, and that's what you're always worried about when he's behind you.
It was the lap traffic that scared him. We got Lloyd Moore in the wall. It was not the lapped car's fault, but it just took their concentration off, and we got ourselves a yellow. Let's get a long look at this one. That starts with where Rory Collins was taking the car. He took it down low and basically slowed down. Everyone got around him. That's fine, but then a little farther back now, drop back just a few cars, you'll see the incident that happens right behind him.
Give your nonprofit the productivity apps they know and love. Eligible nonprofits now get a 75% discount on Microsoft 365 Business Premium. Get started by clicking the link or visiting us at Microsoft.com/nonprofits.
The most affordable German-engineered car brand in America is also the most fun. With high-performance handling, style, and space. Not to mention, whoa-inducing turbo. What are you waiting for? Get in the driver's seat during Volkswagen Driver Days. Get 0.9% APR or a $1,000 customer bonus on a select new 2026 Tiguan during Volkswagen Driver Days.
Yeah, we'll get a different view here. So here's Lloyd Moore, and he's down running on the apron just a little bit. And yeah, so a little bit of that concentration being lost because you can see the lap car down on the inside, but at the same time, the cars push up so hard on corner exit. It gets worse as the tires wear, and that one is a little bit of that as an example. He just pushed up, and Eric was still there on the outside.
And just so we're clear, by no means was I trying to put the blame on Moore or on Collins. He was doing a great job getting out of the way. That was perfectly fine. But it just took a little bit of the rhythm away, threw a little bit of something for the guys to worry about. They were too wide, and they were coming up on the left car. All right. Pit stops have been made. Papa Kenny Allen pits from up front. He's going to come out in 13th position. The top 12 did not. JR, it's lap, about a third of the way through, lap 50.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely get to the end from here. That's going to be roughly 100 laps, somewhere around there, a little bit less when we go green. So you can definitely do that around this track. And it's not a bad call. So for Ken Allen, he lost some positions on the initial start. He knows that he was not going to continue to move forward. I think he was even in one of those odd running positions. So he was going to lose more positions on this restart, more than likely. So if he takes tires now, it's going to set him back for a little bit. But if there is another caution in 30 or 40 laps, I would expect some of those drivers up front to pit, and Ken Allen's going to stay out. So what Ken's got to focus on now is taking care of his tires. So if he does get that inversion later on, he's got something to work with.
This series, the rule package mirrors that of 2009, and I'm just going to think that 17 years ago, leader did not get their choice of lanes. I think that came more recent than that, and I think my partner had it right. I think Luke Logan Allen is pinned on that inside spot.
Yeah, and it's a disadvantage here because, like I said, you have to wait until the green flag comes out before you go.
Well, Allen and Stout started side by side to start the race, but the order was swapped around with Luke Logan on the outside. Let's see what the kid can do on the inside. He is pretty impressive. Great camera shot as they drive away from us. Now Stout trying to power around the top. And we got another caution. Oh, I think they're going to give it to Stout, I think. And the caution involves Torrance Childs getting together with Lemire.
Yeah, we're looking at it from the top view, and that's just the two come together on the backstretch. Lemire obviously moved up a little bit, but it is difficult to gauge. And I talked about it a little bit in the opening, all the visibility issues you have inside the cockpit. It is hard to gauge where your right front tire is sometimes in relation to that outside car, and that's what some of that was. None of that was intentional, but it's just a slight loss of concentration right there. Next thing you know, you're touching that outside car. So it's super easy to do in these modifieds. I can't stress that enough.
Oh, look at how wide they are right now. We got time. Let's go ahead and take a third look at it from the cockpit of Lloyd Moore, if we can. That's Lloyd, the last car in there. Got on the binders. You be the driver. You decide where to go.
Yeah, and you can see he cannot see anything beyond what's right in front of that car right in front. So that wreck's been going on forever, and he's just now seeing it after Torrance is all the way down on the inside. And it's a quick decision. He decided to go through the grass, which is risky because you can't slow down, but ultimately it paid off for him. He just clears them.
Boy, that's a great shot. The crash has been going on forever, and he just sees it when he gets there. Okay, well, I got good news and bad news for Eric Stout. The good news is the iRacing officials scored you as the leader. The bad news is you got to start on the inside.
Yeah, and I honestly think that caution was good news for Luke because it looked like James Lowe was going to be able to seal up that outside lane. So I don't think Luke was going to have a hole to get into to get second place if Eric made that pass. So this was the best case for him, I think, and now he should have the advantage once again.
James Lowe was going to seal up the outside line. That's a good observation from a plumber's perspective. Stout on the inside, Luke Logan on the outside. All right, Chris Worrell is in that spot that James Lowe was. So look at this, we got Stout and Lowe pinned inside now. Here we go. The outside line seems to be the best place to start, and Luke Logan loves to be up there. They go through two, he gets the momentum, he is clear, and that was easy speasy lemon squeezy. Now going to the top is Teapot, and sure enough, the driver who started outside of row 2 got up to third. If you want to be in that odd number.
Yeah, and Eric was really smart on that restart. He conceded that position before they got to turn 3 because he saw that opening. He knew it might close up, so he got there, but now he's got to worry about a brand new driver being behind him who's not been up there so far with Worrell.
Discover a new standard of luxury in the 2026 Infiniti QX60 from Kelly Infiniti. Engineered with exceptional detail, the QX60 fuses modern sophistication with uncompromised comfort. From its meticulous craftsmanship to available advanced technology and safety features, the QX60 ensures an elevated experience the moment you take the wheel. Click now to learn more.
Turn AI from potential into performance with HPE, where intent-based automation and AI-driven operations keep GPU clusters optimized and every connection more secure. Unlock innovation.
I guess it's a little easier to sacrifice the lead when you know you're going to be in the preferred position if there's a restart.
It's hard as a driver to make yourself do that. Sometimes you got to be smart.
Buckley and Brian Neff. Now, Chris Worrell's up 10 positions. He did not make a stop. Brian Neff up 4 did not. Remember, we talked about the driver who came in, who's leading all the guys on fresh rubber. There's 2 of them. It's Kenny Allen and Jerry Isaacs. They're racing 9th and 10th right now.
Yeah, and what that did, I mean, it really shook up everything. So we've got drivers that have not been up front now running up front. We've got drivers that have fresher tires that are more toward the back half of this field, 10th on back. So it's not an urgency for Ken Allen and Jerry Isaacs to come through the field. They're taking their time, but because they have the fresher rubber, their car is turning so much better than some of these other drivers. So there could be incidental contact just because of the difference in speeds through the corner.
JR, I don't mean to put you on the spot because it's a tough question. 150 laps. Is there enough fuel? Can these cars go the distance on that? Probably yes.
Yeah, they've got the default setups in these. So every driver's got the default setup. It's fixed setup races, and they have the 23.8 gallons of fuel that are in these cars. So a full load of fuel. These cars will make it, especially with the cautions that we've had. So there's no need for fuel. Tires will be the only concern here tonight.
So I was thinking that maybe Allen and Isaacs didn't need to actually work hard because the guys in front of them would have to pit anyway, but that's not the case. So eventually, they're going to have to get the pass made on the track. Maybe. Unless they get that late caution and the guys up front decide to come in for rubber and they don't have to.
Absolutely. That's the whole thought process. And the only thing that can help Ken Allen and Jerry Isaacs, the drivers that pitted, is they need a long run before another caution comes out. That would help those drivers that are up front right now go, I think I need to come in and get some tires.
And there's quite a few drivers that are in the same strategy as Allen and Isaacs. Ezra, Johnson, Hurley, all these guys have newer rubber. Chris Hazlip. So it's a possibility if they did decide to stay out, they might have a little company, which put those guys that came in for the fresh rubber at the end, the fast guys up front, would have a little work to do before they got to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see there on your screen where those drivers are running at right now. Yep, and you do not, like if you're Allen, your only job is you want to be at the head of that pack. If you're one of those other drivers that have pitted, your only job is to stay on the lead lap. You just want to take care of those tires. So if you get that late caution and you leapfrog some guys, you've still got some grip to work with.
And is it right thinking on my part that, honestly, you don't even need to race fast, like you just said. You just want to stay on the lead lap. The slower you can go and not get lapped is really almost the strategy for some of those guys in the very back.
Absolutely. I would be coasting into these corners if I'm one of those drivers that's toward the end of that strategy, because I just need the tires to be there. So I do not need to put any pressure on them. I'm not racing anybody. I'm just turning laps, and I'm watching where the leader is in relationship to me. So if I need to pick the pace up, I can, but I'm not going to unless I have to.
And then you got to figure with these names up front, Allen, Stout, Worrell, Lowell, Buckley, these guys are all going to start to race a little more competitive when it gets closer to the end. That caution coming is real.
Yeah, it's absolutely real. And, you know, we talked about the odd number and the even number positions out there. Everybody's usually content with kind of where they're running if you're in one of those even positions. But when you get down to 30 laps to go, 20 laps to go, everybody starts to realize there might not be a caution. You start to be a little aggressive and try to make those passes. So I do expect some late cautions to happen here.
Let's go check in on Allen and Isaacs right now. Isaacs just took a stab at the 49 of Papa Ken. Didn't get there, but they're on the back of Liston. They got 2 slow cars there, Neff and Liston. And even though Allen wants to save his stuff, I think this might be too tempting not to get these guys.
Yeah, it's a risk versus reward thing in this situation. You've got the better handling car. You've got the speed through the corner. Ultimately, you'd like to sit there and ride, but if Ken Allen does that, Jerry Isaacs is probably going to try to make the move on him, and he wants to be the leader of this strategy. So it's a hard call to make. Only the driver inside the car can make it. Only he knows how much faster he is than, say, Todd Liston right now. But it has to be timed right so he does get that pass made and he doesn't get himself in trouble and lose multiple positions.
A few spots behind these guys running all by himself is the rum runner, Glenn Jamieson, in 11th position. He's up 9. Meanwhile, we got a pass for the lead.
Yeah, Eric got a big run off of turn 4. I don't know if Luke just got a little too high, but ultimately that was, here's the thing. So you see the big gap between the two leaders here back to Worrell. It's at least 5 or 6 car lengths. When that gap happens, that gives Eric the opportunity to search around and do some things. If it doesn't work, he can get back in line, but he's going to try to take those moments right now.
There's only one fuel that can drive the performance you demand from your car. New 94 Octane, the highest octane on the market, only at Sunoco.
If you are Luke Logan Allen, on a normal track you would protect the inside, but with that going on, I guess, and here, let's see what happens behind here now. There comes Lowe, gets around Worrell.
Yeah, Worrell, I think, got a little bit loose out of 4, made some contact with the outside wall, and it slowed him down just enough that James Lowe was able to get that run, and he made the pass down in 1 and 2 just because it was too hard to carry that momentum once you hit that wall and you lose it.
And we were looking at Allen and Stout start to run away with it. Maybe they weren't going that much faster. Maybe Worrell was having a bit of a trouble, and I think James Lowe had to get around him. And I think Josh Buckley might be thinking the same thing back there in 5th. Wouldn't be the worst thing to get out of that odd number position if he can get around Worrell. Meanwhile, up front, yeesh, Teapot is working on Kid Lemon Lime.
Yeah, and in my opinion, this is a great audition for the end of the race, potentially. You see Luke get just a little high there. That's where Eric's getting that huge run, but this is a good audition for the end of the race because if Eric finds himself in 2nd position, he's moving around trying different lines. He's finding out what works and what doesn't work, and he's trying to figure out what timing is needed in order to complete that pass. When does he need to make that move through the corner in order to have that run? So this has given him a lot of information that could be useful at the end.
Almost a little bit of a love tap from Stout onto Luke Logan Allen. Getting out of the way, that is Lloyd Moore. Allen doing what I like to call a little Olay racing there. He's putting the red cape out and saying to the bull, if you want to try the inside, go ahead. I don't think you're going to be able to get there. I'm going to get out of your way and see if you can do it. James Lowe watching in the popcorn position.
Yeah, you just talked about it. So the bad thing for Eric, he's going to have to stop trying to do some of the moves he's making. He's going to have to start looking in his mirror a little bit because he sees James Lowe is closed in. So now he's not going to be making those moves that we talked about, trying to make that pass on Luke, because if it doesn't work, which more than likely that inside line will not work on somebody that's got speed, he's going to get passed by James Lowe. You see a little bit of contact there, and yeah, that sends Luke up into the marbles.
Well, we've only 2 races into this season, and there's a bit of history between Allen, Stout, Lowe. These guys have raced hard, and another pump from Teapot. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's, we've talked about it. So these modifieds, the bumpers line up great. You can really make a lot of contact, but because of that, you can really put that driver in front into a bad position, such as hitting him right before they get off the throttle going into the corner, which could shove them wide. That's what happened to Luke a little bit earlier. And one of the things I've always thought about, it really stinks when you're on the receiving end, but if somebody's willing to make that type of contact with you, then it's fair game to do it when you're on the other foot. When you're behind them, you can do the same thing. So these drivers all know that. They're aware of it, and there is going to be some nights where, like I said, you're the ball, and the other nights where you're the bat.
My dad used to tell me, the tree remembers, the axe forgets. Well, it was just one race ago where Luke Logan Allen was the axe and James Lowe was the tree. And Allen gave him a little bit of a racing line suggestion. Oh, see you later, Kid Lemon Lime.
Yeah, I've been watching him, and yeah, that's a fantastic save, but I've been watching him for a couple of laps, particularly off of 4. He's really had that rear end hung out, and that time it really bit him, and a lot of that just goes back to how hard Eric was pushing him. He knew he needed to create a little bit of a gap to get rid of that contact from behind, but now he's going to have to come from, I believe he's going all the way back to 5th position.
He does? Well, Stout wanted the lead, now he has it. We'd be remiss if we didn't give a shout out to the race that Josh Buckley is having, back and forth. He has just been watching the whole thing. Remember, none of these guys have pitted. Ken Allen not able to make up a whole bunch of spots. He's still got Jerry Isaacs right behind him.
Is it time to say yep to Vyepti? Vyepti is an IV infusion that helps prevent migraine attacks. Chronic migraine patients saw 23 fewer migraine days on average per treatment. And it's just 4 30-minute IV treatments a year. Don't take if allergic to Vyepti. Allergic reactions, high blood pressure, and Raynaud's, which causes numb or painful fingers or toes, can happen. Get help right away for rash, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, or throat, or trouble breathing, hives, and facial redness. Common side effects are stuffy nose, scratchy throat, and allergic reactions. Ask your doctor about Vyepti.
Taxes was chasing updates and getting nowhere. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert, doing it all for you. While keeping you in the loop. So you can keep chasing this feeling. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax.
So much to look at. We hate to jump you around so much. The action is up front. Something could happen at any second. And then Allen is right on the back of Liston as well.
Yeah, you know what this movement has kind of done, you know, with Luke having his misfortune off of turn 4, if we get some type of a caution later in this race, say with less than 50 laps to go, I think you're probably going to see most of your leaders want to stay out because they know how hard it is to pass. This gives Luke Logan the opportunity to go, hey, I'm going to come in and take tires, and I'm just going to go after it. So,
yeah,
he could be dangerous. And we also talked about, you know, late in the race, how there become more and more cautions. If he's got fresh tires and he gets a couple of timely cautions, you know, when he's trying to make some passes, he could really leapfrog some rows and get back up front.
17 drivers on the lead lap, the last one being Tom Hilbert. And I got that in just in time because I don't know how long little brother Tom's going to be able to stay out, because here comes Eric Stout.
Yeah, and the good thing for Stout, one, he's running a little bit different of a line than what James Lowe is, but he's got that gap opened up back to James Lowe, about 6 or 7 car lengths right now. So that gives him time to make a decision. You see right there, even though that's going, oh, the contact, it held him up just a little bit. He was able to check up without having to worry about getting past.
Woo! And the 4 cars get through. So now there's only 16 cars on the lead lap. And if you're new to racing, the sport of racing, auto racing, you may be, well, why do I care how many cars are on the lead lap? Well, if Luke Logan Allen were to come in for a pit stop, you know, the less cars on the lead lap, that's where he cycles in behind.
And we got a good battle right here. We see Jerry Isaacs touch the wall a little bit. Scott Negus trying to make that inside line work. He's going to be at a bad angle there, but he's going to be able to get back in line before getting passed by Jamison. So a lot of these drivers moving around, and Isaacs thought about it for a little bit. He almost made that move on Ken Allen. Ken's been very patient with that fresher rubber right there behind Todd Liston.
Allen and Isaac both have the fresh rubber, and Allen's been working on it forever, and finally he gets a good drive off of 2. I don't know how much of that was his idea and how much of that was inspired by Isaac's.
Yeah, and up front here, James Lowe really closed in on Stout. We talked about that 6 or 7 car lead.
Kenny Allen goes around.
Oh,
he was
no.
making a stab on Liston. He collects Isaac. Also involved in it was Roger Hurley. He was behind him. And now the plot thickens.
Yeah, we see the replay here. Ken Allen almost had that pass made on Todd Liston, lost some momentum down the straightaway there. Going into the corner, you know, he's going to try to slide up as much as he can because that's how you can get the grip and make the pass. But Todd Liston is there, and ultimately it ends up taking out the 2 that were leading that strategy, Ken Allen and Jerry Isaacs. None of them have damage that's going to end their night, but some of these other drivers just might. Scott Negus coming in there with suspension damage, I think. I believe Todd Liston did a slide and made it through.
James Lowe and Chris Worrell are teammates. They decide to stay out. Luke Logan Allen, we know he's good on old rubber. He stays out. Brian Neff will cycle up into 4th. He stays out. A few other drivers on fresher rubber also stay out, like Esery and Johnson. And we just saw Jerry Isaacs involved in that spin. Remember, he was on the same strategy with Ken Allen. He's going to stay out. So I guess that spin, he's not scared of what that did to him. You go all the way down, JR. It's the teapot down in 9th. Came in for the new rubber. He pitted from the lead.
Yeah, and a couple of things. Like I feel like Jerry Isaacs had to stay out, even if his tires are not going to be in great shape, because you've only got the one set that you can use. He's already taken right side tires.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, left sides are not going to help you a whole lot. And as Eric Stout here, I would have been super tempted to do what Eric did, because we've still got 45 laps to go or so when we go green, and that's enough time for tires to matter. But he's all the way back in 9th place, so he's going to be put in some very bad positions here. And if we keep getting caution after caution, that benefit of having the tires is not going to be substantial.
We are going to bring up my favorite graphic, and this is going to show you exactly what we're talking about. Bring it up real quick before we go green. If we bring up our pit stop, there it is. The 4 guys on top, all white, did not make a stop. The next 4 guys down made that stop about halfway through, about lap 50, and then you get to those next set of guys with a little touch of blue on the right-hand side. They got fresh rubber. That tells you the whole story. Well, teammates up in front. The Whirlwind in the preferred spot. We go green, working lap number 106. That's Chris Worrell up top, James Lowe down below. Worrell can't make it work. Neff packing in really deep. Here comes Kid Lemon Lime underneath. That's Neff back there in the Winn-Dixie 60.
Yeah, it looked like Worrell got a little too high through 1 and 2, so that gave up the lead. But now he is holding tough with Luke Logan trying to make that pass, and Luke's got nowhere to get in line just yet. He might have an opening there in front of Neff.
Really? $200 to be that family? You're better off at Topgolf, where you and your family can have a good time at a fair price. No argument there.
Director, let's go back and look at Stout. He's stuck in amongst it right now. That's listed on the inside. There's no room for him to go down there. That's Ken Allen up top. Stout is fast, but he's got nowhere to put the car. He clears Liston. He's got Ken Allen behind him, in front of him. Isaac's in front of Allen. Neff is out of control, don't know where he's going. He saves it. He was going into the Connecticut alfalfa, but he keeps it going straight. Now on the outside of him, that's Eric Ezere.
Yeah, definitely. You see Jerry Isaacs trying to get in there and make a move as well, so it looks like Isaacs and Ken Allen, their tires are in decent shape right now. Obviously, Eric Stout has the better handling car, and it's going to take a couple of laps before it really starts to shine through just how much better his car is turning than the rest of the field. Once those tire temps come up, that's when we'll notice it.
40 laps to go, but the laps go so fast here. It seems like so many, but it's really not all that much. So much to watch. The battle up front is not worth watching right now. Stout and Liston almost get together.
Yeah, and this is where drivers are going to start giving each other less and less room. The pay window is getting closer to opening. The drivers know they've got to make their move right now, and that's usually where we get some late cautions around this place, because we talked about it, it is so tough to make a pass, and the exits, they close up. Drivers come together on corner exit when they're side by side.
We got to tell the story of Ezek Ezere. Ezere is in fourth position. He's got 50-lap fresher tires than the three guys in front of him, and he looks good. He's given Luke Logan Allen all he could ask for. With that said, Neff is really struggling. Neff's got the same tires. He has very old tires, have not made a stop. And then we know about Isaacs and Allen. They were involved in that spin. They stayed out, and they look good.
Yeah, and right now we talked about those tire temps starting to come up, so everybody's pretty much been nose to tail, but you're going to start to see little gaps opening up, and those gaps are going to start to show the drivers that do not have the speed or the tires underneath them to create that speed, and that is where you're going to have to start making the passes. Those are the drivers that are going to be in bad shape, because that's usually where the contact will come from.
Where to watch? That's probably the best camera. The widest angle is probably the best view right now. There's action everywhere. James Lowe beginning to run away with it. If Stout were to actually get there, don't know if he could actually run him down.
Yeah, things are just, we talked about it's so tough to pass, and Eric Stout, he's able to get to the inside of drivers, but he cannot complete the pass because of the difficulty of this racetrack. So this strategy is just not paying off for him, and if I were him, that's a very tough decision with around 50 to go. I would have probably pitted as well and thought that some of those guys around me would have followed me, but tonight they didn't. He was really the only one up front that made that call to come in and get tires.
I think if he would have been able to ask Isaacs and Allen if it was a good idea to stop for tires, they might have told him no, because they made that stop and they were not able to move through the field at all. Neff having a great run in fifth. I think the guy who looks good is Ezere. Ezere just gave a little bit of a love tap to Luke Logan Allen. Let's look at this battle for third spot. This might be the hottest one on the track right now.
Yeah, we saw that gap open up between Lowe and Worrell there, and I think Luke Logan was really trying hard to get a pass made, and we saw him start to get loose in that one run, so he may have overheated his right rear tire. Seen him working the wheel really hard coming off of turn 4. So that right rear may be a little bit hot, and that's what's giving Eric behind him that opportunity to potentially get third spot.
Lowe, Worrell, Allen, Ezere, Neff.
Oh, Luke's real loose off the floor again. He did a nice save, but 37 is going to get to his inside.
Gets underneath him. Remember, Allen got loose once already, spun off. He saved it. That's what took him out of the lead.
He is an absolute wheel man. If you watch his hands coming off of turn 4, they do not stop moving back and forth. So he is hanging on to that car, and I'm not seeing anybody else driving the car that hard. And it's hard to tell from screen because his car's not moving around, but his hands are all over this place, guys.
Stout has got around Kenny Allen. Next up, is Jerry Isaacs. Isaacs might be the harder to pass. Then it gets easier. He has Neff on very old tires.
Yeah, and I mean, Stout's got to go. He has to go absolutely right now. Even if there's a caution, he is in a bad position. He's in an odd number, so he's going to lose spots on the restart more than likely. So he has got to make this move as quickly as possible, and he's going to be looking now. The one problem is it's not just being faster than Jerry Isaacs. If he gets side by side of Jerry, there's nowhere to go because Neff's right in front. So he's essentially got to pass two cars at once.
And up in front, finally gets it done. This is Eric Ezra. Well, he hasn't got it done yet because he's got Luke Logan Allen on the outside, and that's never an easy thing. Allen gets loose, might have got a little bit of the wall. They continue to race side by side. They are losing contact with Lowe and Whirl. They race for third position right now. Newer tires on the inside, and finally, is he going to come up in front of him? You're clear. Little dipsy dude, look what Kid Lemon Lime can do on old stuff. Almost got under him.
Ken Allen hit hard. I saw Ken Allen go around. Don't know if contact led to that initially or not, but he got the worst of that one.
The big stuff. Who do you think you are, Mr. Big Stuff? You're never gonna get my love, Mr. Big Stuff. Tell me, just who do you think you are?
Get 0.9% APR financing or a $1,000 customer bonus on a select new 2026 Tiguan.
In particular, on top of some of those things that we're exploring as part of the TradeCraft options to give to customers, is I would essentially make developing position independent code a lot simpler. I'm somebody who has always developed kernel shell codes like double pulsar, etc., and I'm obsessed with it. The problem is it's a considerable pain to develop. It's not exactly user-friendly to do. You have to manually resolve functions, you have to sit there and have specific macros for strings, you have to have a get instruction pointer stub. It's not exactly user-friendly.
I think Todd Liston got into him. Liston then spun. The rum runner, Glenn Jameson, powered his way through. Jameson's car is hurt. Let's stay on this for a second, Director, and you go back to real speed if you can find Jameson when this is done. And he powers his way through, and now let's go to real speed because it's about a half a lap down here. There's Jameson. Seems like he's made it through okay. Everything looks good. No problem here. And my car won't turn.
Yeah, definitely left front wheel suspension damage on that one. And, the bad thing for Jameson, looking at that in slow motion, I think he almost had it, but then he kind of got hooked with Buckley, and there was nothing he could do to stay out of it.
Well. Ezra was credited with the pass on Luke Logan Allen. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. He's going to be on the odd number. Maybe this is bad news for James Lowe. He's got Chris Worrell to his outside now. They're teammates. Maybe they won't race as hard as one would think. Kenny Allen pits, but he's not on the lead lap.
Yeah, and this is going to get really exciting on this restart because it gives Eric Stout another shot. He's got the newest tires. He's the highest up of the drivers with the newest tires, but he's on that inside lane. So he's going to have to make some stuff happen. We talk about trying to go into lines that other drivers are not. He's going to have to go into that territory because he's not going to be in a good spot to make positions just based on the line he's in.
When we go green, we'll be working lap 32. I give that little hint to my director. He knows what that means. And they come across and they're doubling up. James Lowe on the inside. They've been out on the same rubber the entire race, as has Chris Worrell. Ezra. Luke Logan Allen on the outside. Look for Allen to roll, but unfortunately he's got a little fresher rubber on the inside with Ezra. The perfectly mesmerizing Josie Kirkland pulls the pace truck down to the inside line. If you're thinking about winning, get the mirror ball spinning. Grip the groove. Make your move. It's a little bump. It's a spin. Oh, he did the flip, but he keeps going straight. He got cut. That was Luke Logan Allen. Boogie time.
Oh, yeah. There was cars everywhere, and we finally got a caution after about the third time of cars spinning. Scott Negus is the one that's down on the infield trying to get himself turned around for the leaders come back. But that one is what actually brought out the caution, but a lot of contact on that restart.
Very slow restart. The outside lane was bunching up. Don't know if that was a little team orders there or what.
Yeah, I'm not sure because, obviously that's something that could have happened, but it looks like he got right on the edge of the groove and the marbles. And then, we talk about going up high is good for grip, but if you go just an inch too high, there is no grip and you can't get the car turned. And Luke Logan had a lot more speed and was not trying to get to the inside, but did because of what happened up in front of him.
A lot of drivers caught up in it. One driver who was not was Eric Stout. I guess this caution helps him, but the laps tick away. But he gains positions, the tires cool off. I don't know who's going to win this one.
Yeah, it's gonna all be about who makes the right decisions on this restart, as well as whether we get another caution. Stout's in that odd position again, but a few things happen. He could get free positions just based on where the caution comes out.
And how about the race of the number 37, Eric Ezra? He's been battling. He is on 45 lap fresher tires than the guy who's going to start on his inside. So he has better tires. He has the better restart position. The only problem with this whole philosophy is the guy on his inside is James Lowe.
Yeah, but the one thing that Eric has going for him here is, just looking at the stats from tonight, he was fast in practice. He qualified 6th, and we've not really talked about him a whole lot, but he qualified in the 3rd row. So he's got speed, and he could really use this to his advantage, but he's got to time this restart good. We have to wait until the green flag comes out, and that makes it even. It's based on reaction time for these leaders.
Your outdoor space is meant for gathering. Make it the hit of the neighborhood with Floor & Decor. From decorative tile and mosaics to lawn pavers and pool tile, bring your outdoor project to life no matter your style or budget. Create the outdoor space of your dreams with unmatched in-stock selection at affordable prices. Shop your outdoor project online or visit your local Floor & Decor today.
Big day. Keep calm. Keep your composure. That means no matter what, time to lock in.
Push the pace, thread it.
Show me your game face. All right, we'll work on it. What does victory sound like? 1, 2, 3.
Together!
Brian Neff gives him a little bit of a bump. Is Eric Ezra. Ezra on the outside, trying to make it work. Gets a good drive off of 2, but now the fight down there from James Lowe. His teammate now underneath, that's Whirl. Now Ezra has Whirl to worry about. Lowe can drive away. Brian Neff, incredibly competitive right now back there in the popcorn position. Ezra finds a little bit of the wall, but he continues to race hard on the outside of Whirl. Teapot. Eric Stout is in 5th, but he has nowhere to go. The track is full of cars in front of him. Finally, the 37. Can he get a drive off of 4 and finish the pass for 2nd? He does not. He gets a little bit of the wall, and that's going to allow Whirl to get underneath him again. The battle for 2nd continues. Back there watching his Neff. Meanwhile, this is the best possible news that could happen to James Lowe. And Mariano now getting around his Ezra. He saves it. A little contact. Oh my goodness, the humanity.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Eric's going to be too happy with that one. We'll look at the replay here as they came off of turn 2. Pretty even coming off of 2 there. Eric's got the advantage, and I believe it's hard to tell. I believe it's just slight contact right before corner entry that sent Eric around. He did a fantastic job, though. We stayed green with 9 laps to go.
James Lowe is driving away with his teammate now playing defense in second, Brian Neff. All 3 front drivers on old tires. With an incredible set of tires is Eric Stout. He races in 4th. Can he get, I don't know if he can get to the lead, but can he get the next 2? We'll find out.
He just needs a caution. He is dying for a caution because that could get him at least into 3rd spot. It'd be another position, maybe 2, but he needs that restart now that he's in 4th in the outside lane.
Oh my goodness, starting from the outside of row 2, he could really make it work. Liston in 5th, and they have tried to get rid of the kid, but he won't go away. Luke Logan in 6th.
Yeah, and Luke's done a fantastic job tonight. I know he had that one bobble got loose off before, but if anybody can drive these modifieds, it is him. He just needs a little more experience on the tracks and stuff because he's not had tons of seat time like some of these other drivers had, but he can flat out wheel one of these cars.
Eric Ezra salvaged the spin. He is in 7th position right now. With Luke Logan in front of him, there is a battle. I don't know if Brian Neff is going to be able to hang on to the podium spot. They're beginning to line up behind him. The front 2 are saying, come on, boys, let's just bring this home green. If Brian Neff can hold off Eric Stout, Neff's been out there for 147 laps. Stout 100 laps plus fresher tires. A good run off the 2 is the 4. He's going to go to the outside, and that's it for Neff. Not sure what happened. Wave the white flag. Fuel?
Yeah, I'm confused, Soup. I don't know what that was. Maybe he didn't want an interview. Maybe he doesn't like talking with us.
Well, that does add a little bit of drama. Could what happened to Neff happen to James Lowe or Chris Whirl? We don't think so. White flag lap is out. 2 corners to go for the teammates. Eric Stout makes it up into 3rd. Out of the final corner. Winning round 3, the Icebreaker. James Lowe. Chris Whirl in 2nd, Eric Stout in 3rd. Great run from Liston, Luke Logan Allen. And Eric Ezra gets a 6th place finish, and it should have been a podium, possibly a win for this 37. What a great race. This was fun. It's over, but our broadcast isn't. We'll take a short break, come back, run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network.
Is it time to say yep to Vyepti? Vyepti is an IV infusion that helps prevent migraine attacks. Chronic migraine patients saw 23 fewer migraine days on average per treatment. And it's just 4 30-minute IV treatments a year. Don't take if allergic to Vyepti. Allergic reactions, high blood pressure, and Raynaud's, which causes numb or painful fingers or toes, can happen. Get help right away for rash, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, or throat, or trouble breathing, hives, and facial redness. Common side effects are stuffy nose, scratchy throat, and allergic reactions. Ask your doctor about Vyepti.
Ew!
This stinks. You're better off at Topgolf, where your group can play in your own darn shoes. Say goodbye to gutter balls.
Welcome back to Thompson Speedway and YesterYear Racing, where past meets present. Well, we had the YesterYear Icebreaker, the third round of the YesterYear Racing Tour Modified Series 2026 schedule. And I tell you, it was a good one with good racing, drama, strategy, everything you could want in a modified short track race. Let's give you the finishing order right now. He started in fourth. James Lowe went the distance on the same set of tires to get his first win of the season. Chris Worrell, his teammate, finishes second. Eric Stout made that late stop for rubber, was able to get through about, a handful of drivers before he ran out of time. He'll have to settle for third. Todd Liston, he'll finish fourth. Luke Logan Allen, one mistake that he saved, cost him the lead, was never able to get it back. He'll settle for fifth. Perhaps the driver of the race who had a chance for the win, Eric Ezere, a little contact with Chris Worrell. He was able to save it, dropped all the way back to about 8th or 9th, came back to 6th. That's where he'll end up. Jerry Isaacs in 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Hey, Tom Hilbert with an 8th place finish. That's pretty amazing. Quietly under the radar. Brian Johnson and Chris Hayslip in 10th.
Yeah, coming home in 11th place, we got Josh Buckley tonight in that 13 car. Scott Negus, we saw him with a late spin. He comes back to finish in 12th. Torrance Childs, another driver that went through the grass tonight. He comes home in 13th place, the last car on the lead lap. Brian Neff, we saw him pull off with a couple of laps to go there. He's our first car, one lap down in 14th place. Ken Allen running into some troubles late. He'll finish 15th. Alan Wanamaker, he comes home in 16th place. Glenn Jameson having that left front suspension damage. He'll come home in 17th. Roger Hurley, 18th place tonight. Lloyd Moore in 19th. And Jeff Lemire will come home in 20th. Last car on the sheet tonight will be Rory Collins, 108 laps down in 21st.
With that said, I get to talk to James Lowe, the race winner. We'll bring him in right now, and I got some questions for him about race strategy. So let's go ahead and we talk to him. James, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got the soup.
All right, 50 laps to go. Was this a case of whatever Stout does, I do the opposite? He comes in, you stay out. If he stayed out, would you have come in?
No, not really. It all boiled down to is the previous 2 weeks. Pit stops were not working out for me, so I just said, well, I'll take my chances up here at the front, and whatever happens, happens, and I was going to stick to it, and I'll probably stick to it the rest of the year too, but yeah, pit stops just don't agree with me.
Restarts were interesting. The inside line was tough, but you made it work a couple times there with your teammate to your outside near the end of the race.
Yeah, it's a benefit to have. He's not going to do anything crazy out there, and yeah, just kind of drove it in there a little bit hard, and I found that I was at least able to go down pretty low and kind of hold my ground down there. So I did that, and it worked out, and then we were able to jump out to like an 8, 9 tenths of a second lead there, and we just kind of eased back off of it from there, and yeah, just kind of rode.
Well, congratulations on the win. It was strategic, and it was technical, and it was talented. Well done. We'll see you down the road.
I appreciate it. I'd like to thank my Aunt Mary Alice, as always, for watching, and Chris for a second place finish, and Eric for third, and you guys for broadcasting. Can't wait to watch it back.
You got it. We'll see you later. Good job. Your winner today, James Lowe. All right, partner. You got a hold of the man who finished second?
I do. Hey, Chris Worrell, congratulations, man. Coming home on second. What's going on? Hey, I got some questions for you, because I know tonight's race is very tough with the track. Take you to some of those restarts. How tough were these restarts? Because we saw drivers trying to use that outside groove, but it was a fine line on where some of that grip was. Talk us through how tough it was.
It was horrible, man. I got my butt kicked, to say the least. Especially on the restarts, I haven't raced any races more than 50 laps at this track, so just hanging on for dear life at the end, just trying to keep up and not fall back too much. Yeah, I felt like I had good tire there from qualifying so badly and starting the back and just chilling. So when everybody pit and I got to the front, I figured I could try to run the bottom, but everybody was just driving it in so hard, and I didn't want to check anyone up and cause a wreck. So I just ended up driving in a little too hard and just overheating the tires after every caution, it seemed like. And yeah, but just hanging on to it, man. Just doing what I could.
It's definitely a tough track, especially in the modifieds. I want to ask you this, too. So, was there any thought on coming in and taking rubber because of the tough conditions, or is it just that difficult to pass? We talked about how hard it is to pass here.
Well, have we seen the, almost called him the Mountain Dew kid, Luke Logan Allen, I believe, him stay out. And have some really good, good finishes staying out. So James and I had talked about it. I knew he was going to stay out. So I was like, I almost went in with, what's his name? Kerry. I'm sorry, I'm learning everybody's name. Kenny. I almost went in with Kenny there and put Wrights on it instead of 4 tires like I did at Concord. I don't know. I'm glad I stayed out, but the restarts were hard. Going in there, I didn't expect for James, the inside car to be able to go so low. So I was staying pretty high, expecting him to come up, and I think that just slowed me up so much. I just kept getting my butt kicked on the outside. I had no problems running on the inside though.
I'll get you out of here on this one tonight, because we know tonight's race was really tough. This track, I can tell you from experience, I don't like running here. It's tough, but you guys get a week off to catch your breath. Come back in 2 weeks. You guys go to Lanier, 150 laps. What's your experience there? What do you think of being in these cars around that track?
When it comes to short track racing, that's probably one of 4 or 5 tracks that I've raced a lot, mostly dirt. But I think I got a better chance for sure. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Hey, anybody want to give a shout out before we let you go tonight?
Yeah, my buddy James Lowe. I'd be wrecking everybody and finishing dead last if it wasn't for him. Learning the short track racing stuff has been pretty hard. So good big old shout out to him and Mary Alice, if she's watching. Soup, everybody in the booth. Let me check anyone else up in here with you guys. Ryan. Shout out to Lil Jewel for putting on the BRL stuff, and everybody that showed up tonight.
All right, man. Hey, congratulations on that second place run, and maybe we'll talk to you again.
I hope so. Thanks, man.
All right, guys. That was Chris Worrell, second place finisher here tonight. Soup, who you got?
Well, I get to talk to the man who finishes third. It is Eric Teapot Stout. Eric, I just got a one-word question for you, and then I'll let you take it. Regrets?
No, I think I finished probably where I would have ended up finishing exactly, because honestly the lack of lane choice was the primary factor in the decision. Had I been able to take the top, I think I would have been able to hold anybody off for the rest of the 50 laps or whatever. But I would have had James to my outside, so he's got significant advantage. And Chris was right up there. I don't know if Chris was third or fourth at that point, but obviously it's a benefit to have your teammate, especially on those late restarts when you're side by side, so you can be, strategic in how you play it. And I felt like I was outnumbered, and I was on the inside line, and it was just such a huge disadvantage that I thought I'd roll the dice. And honestly, on that first caution, Josh and I were chatting, and I asked him, I said, do you think it's too soon? And he said, yes. And then we watched like 75% of the field come down and take tires. And I was like, uh-oh. Thought I might be in trouble. But, again, the lack of lane choice just really hurts. I set fast time, and then, you sort of, you get boned right out of the gate. So then I'm running second behind Luke, and he was kind of holding me up, after about 30 laps. But I was trying to be patient, and, it just takes you out of your rhythm a little bit. But after the debacle last week at South Boston, where I feel like I gave one away, I'm happy to come back with a podium and have a clean race and, represent Red Light well and have a week off and then go back to Lanier, a place that I'm very comfortable and really enjoy running. So looking forward to that one.
Teapot, that was a great answer. You covered everything. Well done. We'll see you in 2 weeks, okay?
I'm long-winded, Soup. I tend to do that.
No, you got it all. I loved the whole thing. It was a great interview. We'll see you down the road. Congratulations on the third.
Thanks. You guys have a good night.
Yay. Well, there you have it. With an interview from Eric Teapot Stout, we're going to show you when we're going to do this again. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast tonight. If not, we'll try to do better next time. Look, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of those is a road course. You don't want to miss that one. Oh, it's right up there. That's tomorrow night. I get to go do some road course announcing. That's going to be fun. And how about at the bottom of the screen? How better place to have a race than the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. In between, we got the regular short track fair that we have every week. With that said, those broadcasts or future and past ones are all in protection of the Virtual Grid Network. Until next time, on behalf of all the little faces you see on the screen right now, have fun storming the castle.